it would be fair to say that right now we're living in something of a tinderbox over here in the United Kingdom, with all the backlash against, well, literally all the stories that are coming out in the breaking news every single day. There's none more bigger, of course, than the, well, people are getting sick to the back teeth of the lack of, well, stopping the boats, smashing the gangs. This is exactly what the Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Sir Keir Starmer, basically said he was going to do. And if you remember, the Home Secretary, Yvette Cooper, proudly said on the very first day that the Rwanda deal, the only deterrent to stop the invasion, well, that was scrapped. But she's done nothing since. I mean, literally done nothing. And so consequently, now Parliament goes away for 6, 8, 12 weeks. How long is it? They're disappearing and leaving, well, the problem just to fester and get worse each and every single day. But here's where the bigger problem is. And when you think exactly about how the President of the United States, President Trump, spoke about the current Mayor of London, well, you'll find this fascinating. As ever, let me explain. Morning, nice to see you, chums. Thank you so much for joining me today. Lovely to have your company. This episode will have a lovely way. This is a bit of a serious story, in fact, though, because if you saw, I don't know if you saw this the other day, that Sadiq Khan, the Mayor of London, was approached on the streets. Very rare thing, actually, to see him out and about. The previous Mayor of London, Boris Johnson, genuinely went around London on the tube and on his bike. And I know this for a fact because sometimes I would see him when I'm sat on my bus on the back, literally coming across the same bridge. I mean, the guy was always on his bike, so he didn't have that sort of mass security around him that this current mayor costs you and I a lot of money. Here's where this gets really particularly interesting because, as I say, when he was approached on the street the other day by another councillor who basically asked him all about the rising knife crime, and remember, this is just the day after the President of the United States called Khan a nasty man who's done a terrible job in London, and rather than backing us up, that's right, backing exactly anything up, feebly, the Prime Minister of this country said, oh, actually, he's a friend of mine, making him appear even worse than he could possibly be.
Mr. Khan, I'm a Westminster City Councillor. I just wanted to ask you on your thoughts on knife crime going up by 60% in the past 2 years. No, this is the Met thing. Knife crime, 60% up, and you don't care. Nothing to say? Nothing to say? Nothing to say about knife crime going up? 81,000 phones stolen? Nothing, you don't care? If you want to write in, they say. Great. Mr. Khan, will you accept the debate for Nigel? He's being booed as we go inside. So I asked him, he wouldn't speak to me about a 60% increase in knife crime in our city in 2 years.
But here's where it gets interesting because, as we've seen now in London, shoplifting's at an all-time high, knife crime's on the rise. I mean, crime is just rife in London. People are stealing out of stores and it's pointless calling the police. You get the picture. Because the police, and remember, in that particular video is the Commissioner of the Metropolitan Police, Sir Mark Rowley, who equally didn't want to answer any questions. Because the police are too busy protecting the people that have invaded our country illegally by staying at the Britannia Hotel in the very heart of Canary Wharf. And they have a 24/7 protection. And speaking to some of the police officers there, they say, there's nothing they can do. They cannot do any other work because, well, this is now increasing at other migrant hotels. So the fallacy that there isn't enough money to police, say, London or other areas of the United Kingdom is an absolute farce. There's plenty of money. It's how you distribute the manpower, the force. Now, many people are asking as well, where are our British Army? The Royal Navy, why aren't they stopping this epidemic, this invasion on a daily basis? As I've said to you before, what's interesting is that could actually, be kicked into place with the phone call, all from the Prime Minister. He could alert the army to help stop, the defence, literally on the beaches, as we did so many years ago. And likewise with the Royal Navy, or indeed the Royal Air Force. They have received no such call. So President Trump was incredibly right when he said he's doing a terrible job, the Mayor of London, because what we found is, there's enough personnel, staff, policemen and women to be able to guard those hotels in the very heart of London and further beyond 24/7. But actually, if your house is burgled, or indeed, you have been a victim of shoplifting, or your store has been ransacked, there's nobody that can come out because apparently there's a shortage of manpower. Now, who was right, Trump or Khan? I mean, truly, do you need explaining anymore? Neil Shaw in Kensington, London.